Let me ask you a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is the lowest and 10 is the absolute highest, how good a communicator are you? And specifically, what I'm talking about is in your intimate relationship. How good are you? You know, it's funny because after working with thousands of couples, after being therapists, trained in clinical counseling, coaching with people, consulting, or whatever, we often rate ourselves about a 7, would you say? Right?
Mm-hmm. 7, a great 7 with peaks of 8s, 9s,
9s, and a 10s, right? But what's so funny is that when we talk to people, clients that we work with, we talk to people in passing, and we ask them on a scale of 1 to 10, so many people, the lion's share of the people say 8 or above. And they say, I know I'm a good communicator. And we ask the question, compared to what though? And so today we want to talk about, how do you know that you are a good communicator? What are some elements of communication that make you a good communicator? And in your mind, what are you comparing yourself to?
Yeah, so drop your number in the comments and don't edit it.
Right.
We want to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you think you are as a communicator? And now that you dropped your number, we want to say most people are comparing themselves to the worst of the worst.
Absolutely.
So most people are saying, I'm a good communicator because I, don't curse anybody out. I always speak my mind. I always can give the raw truth.
Right.
We say a lot of things that don't actually define good communication.
Right.
It's more like we're defining good communication by what it's not,
right,
rather than what it is. And this is a problem in communication in general. The idea that you should say what something is based on what it's not is a roundabout way of speaking. So it kind of just proves that most people are not good communicators, but we do this all the time. We say what we don't want. So we say, don't yell, don't run, don't ignore me, don't disrespect me, right? Instead of just walk, speak quietly, respect me.
Right. Put some
We're
respect
always,
on my name.
Speaking about what we don't want and wondering why we get more of that. So a lot of times people who are ranking themselves at the 8, 9, and 10, ironically, say the other person has a communication issue. When if you're really a level 10 communicator, you would raise the other person's level as well, because you'd be able to share with them, model for them, teach them how to be a good communicator.
Right. I think that, I'm reminded of what you said about being a vegetarian, and a person describes things in the negative rather than the affirmative. Like, oh, so you're a vegetarian, you don't eat chicken, you don't eat beef, you don't eat pork, you don't eat fish, you don't eat this. And then the person's like, yeah, I don't eat that, I don't eat what. You walking away, and if somebody were to say, what does that person eat? You don't even know. You only know what they don't eat. And a lot of times, as Nwasha is saying, we're doing this in communication, but what are the elements of good communication? Are you able to create clarity in your understanding, crystal clear understanding? Are you able to harmonize styles between men and women, because we have a whole different psyche and a different psychological digestive system? And we definitely have a different way that we emote as men in comparison to women. And then, are you able to resolve conflict? Are you able to get your needs met? And most specifically, in the intimate relationship, can you transform behavior in a short period of time with your communication? To me, these are things that represent good communication. And in terms of comparison to what, we don't want to compare it to the wackest of the whack. We want to compare it to the highest level that possibly exists. And so I think culturally of Tahuti, divine articulation of speech of our ancient ancestors that laid out intelligent articulation, alignment with emotions and thoughts, and the balance of the male and the female, and a harmonious style, cadence, rhythm, tone of speaking, which makes one a good communicator. So if you compared it to that, are you still
right.
the number that you said?
And if you compared it to the truth, right, and to righteousness or ma'at, are you that? And I think that this is what's really important, is for us to be able to have good self-awareness and know that we could improve, and to be able to say, even if you're good, you need to go for better and best, because your relationship is always evolving, you're always evolving, and in order to do that, you need a system. What was good last year might not be any good this year, and that's the expectation, is that you're always evolving and you're always growing. And this is why we are so committed to helping singles and couples improve their communication from a cultural perspective.
So we're offering a system that will help you align your thoughts and feelings, that will help you communicate your intentions, that will align and elucidate behavior that you're looking for, that'll get you out of arguments quickly, help you learn how to fight right, help you balance the style of men and women, and then really break down effective speaking and active listening, what it is and what it's not, because it ain't just the raw truth or speaking from my heart. It's not just that. Those are small little elements of a particular pillar, but we have 4, 5, 6 pillars that we want to share. And one of the most interesting ones is how to communicate using cultural ritual without even saying words, but specific gestures and elemental science. So this is a transformative program that's going to take your intimate communication from walking on eggshells and not being able to say what you really want to say, to being clear, to being free, to being yourself, and having your mate love who that is. So if that's what you're looking for, we have the absolute program for you.
So check it out in the description. Click the link, and we hope to see you on the inside.
Until then, until we see you in the program, as always, we greet you in peace and we say,
Ni Akoma.
communicate better.